Welcome to Awakening Heaven on Earth. Before we begin, take a moment to arrive. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to believe, and nowhere you need to go. Simply listen, contemplate, and notice what stirs and resonates within you. This is a shared space of reflection, presence, and remembrance. Now, let us begin. There is a question that lives quietly beneath much of human experience. It is not always spoken. Often it is barely acknowledged. And yet, it determines how we move through the world. That question is, am I alone? Am I separate and individual? Not just physically, but existentially, cosmically, spiritually. Do I truly belong to anything larger than myself? Or am I, in the end, on my own? Across cultures, across centuries, across spiritual traditions, this question has been asked again and again. And remarkably, the answer that returns is almost always the same. You are not alone. You are universally connected to the source and all life. What is striking is not that one tradition says this. What is striking is that so many do, using different languages, different metaphors, different symbols, yet all pointing toward the same truth. Here, we are not comparing religions. We are not debating beliefs. We are listening for resonance. We are listening for the shared remembering that flows beneath the world's sacred texts. In the Hebrew Scriptures, there is a simple but powerful image. Psalm 68, verse 6 says, God settles the solitary in a home. This is not abstract theology. It is deeply human. The solitary. The one who feels displaced. The one who feels unseen. The one who feels forgotten. This verse does not shame that condition. It responds to it. Belonging is restored, not earned, not proven, but given. To be settled in a home is to be resituated within relationship. To be reminded that isolation and separation is not your true condition. In the Bhagavad Gita, the language shifts, but the message deepens. Chapter 10, verse 20 says, I am the self. seated in the hearts of all creatures. I am the beginning, the middle, and the end of all beings. Here, separation dissolves at its root. The divine is not somewhere else, not distant, not reserved only for the holy or the worthy. The same presence lives in every heart. If that is so, then no being stands outside the family of life. What we experience as separation is not absence of connection, but absence of the awareness of connection. The Tao Te Ching approaches this truth without naming a personal deity at all. Chapter 39 says, "All things are born of the Tao, and all things remain connected through it." Everything arises from one source. Everything remains connected through it. Nothing exists in isolation. Belonging is not a moral category here. It is a structural reality. To exist is already to belong. In Buddhist wisdom, compassion flows from this same insight. From the Dhammapada, verse 197 says, "I do not pick or choose the beings I serve. I love them all equally." This is not sentimentality. It is perception. When separation is seen as illusion, compassion becomes natural. Love no longer needs justification. The family of life includes all beings, not because they are the same, but because they share the same divine source of being. In Christian mysticism, this shared life is expressed through the image of a body. From the Christian scriptures, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 12 says, "For just as the body is one and has many members, so it is with Christ. All are part of the Christ consciousness or body of Christ. No part of the body exists for itself alone. No part is truly expendable. No part is unnecessary. If one part suffers, the whole is affected." Belonging is not optional. It is a birthright. It is intrinsic. Indigenous wisdom often speaks this truth with remarkable clarity and humility. The phrase often spoken is, "all my relations." Not just people, but the animals, plants, waters, ancestors, the land itself. Life is kin. All life is family. Isolation and separation is not the default condition. It is a forgetting of relationship. Sufi mysticism offers yet another lens. A quote attributed to the Sufi mystic Rumi states, "You are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop." Here, individuality is not denied. It is reframed. What looks and feels small or alone is actually carrying the vastness and fullness of the whole within. African philosophy names this directly. The principle known as Ubuntu teaches, "I am because we are." Our individual identity itself is relational. To be human is to belong. Now let's pause for a moment. As you hear these voices from different traditions, notice which one feels most familiar to you. Which image of belonging speaks to your life right now? Is it the home of the psalmist? The shared self of the Gita? The harmony of the Tao? The kinship of all relations? There is no right answer. Simply notice what resonates and allow yourself to rest there for a moment. When we place these sacred voices side by side, something remarkable happens. They stop sounding like separate traditions. They begin to sound like a single conversation spoken through many mouths across many centuries. The psalmist speaks of the solitary being settled into a home. The Gita speaks of the one self living in every heart. The Tao reminds us that all things arise from a single source. The Dhammapada teaches love without preference. Christian mysticism names one body with many members. Indigenous wisdom says simply, "all my relations." Sufi poetry whispers that the ocean lives within the drop. Ubuntu declares, "I am because we are." Different images, different languages. The same reassurance. Each tradition is responding to the same human fear. The fear that we have somehow fallen out of belonging. That we are strangers in a universe that does not know our name. And each tradition answers in its own way. You have not fallen out of life. You have not been forgotten. You have not been abandoned. Belonging is not a reward for belief. It is not granted by agreement. It is not revoked by doubt. It is woven into existence itself. To be alive is to already be included. What differs across traditions is not the truth being pointed to, but the doorway through which it is approached. Some enter through prayer, some through silence, some through relationship, some through service, some through nature, some through inner awareness. But what they encounter is the same ground. This is why the wisdom traditions do not cancel one another. They confirm one another. They stand as witnesses, not competing claims. And in the presence of many witnesses, a truth becomes established. You are not alone. If you have felt isolated, these texts do not tell you that your experience is wrong. They tell you that it is incomplete. They do not deny the ache. They explain it. Loneliness is not proof of separation. It is the pain of remembering connection before it is fully embodied. When belonging is remembered, something quiet but powerful occurs. The need to defend softens. The need to dominate loosens. The need to withdraw eases. Because life no longer feels like something you must face alone. Across these sacred traditions, belonging is not something you must manufacture. It is something you must recognize. And once recognized, it changes how you stand in the world. You listen differently. You move more gently. You see family where you once saw strangers. You're not standing outside the circle of life. You are standing within it. You always have been. As we come to a close, there is nothing you need to carry, nothing you need to remember, and nothing you need to make of what you've heard. Allow what has resonated to remain, and let the rest pass gently away. You are welcome to return whenever you feel drawn. Until then, may you walk in love, joy, peace, presence, and rest in unity. Thank you for listening.